right, 14 minutes gone past 4. Good afternoon. Thank you for still staying here with the frequency 92.3 Nigeria Info. It's a pleasure. And it's time for us to push the conversations a notch, the conversation a notch higher. And this time, I want us to focus on government in Rivers State. It's no longer news. I think sometime last week it was part of our big stories that it was, I think on the 18th was Friday. And I told you that day made it the 4th month of the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. So we've got 2 more months to go. We've got August 18, September 18, and the state of emergency should at time be coming to an end. That is, if there is no extension done by the president and ratified by the National Assembly. However, what has brought back the conversation here on the show is that yesterday a court adjourned about 2 suits challenging, certain issues related to emergency rule in Rivers State. In that sitting, the court adjourned to sometime in October the 13th, right? Now, according to our news report yesterday, Federal High Court in Port Harcourt adjourned to October the 13th a suit challenging President Bola Tinubu's appointment of a sole administrator for Rivers State. Now, the suit filed by civil society group Initiative for Freedom, Conflict Prevention and Social Integration questions the legality of the president's action and the National Assembly's ratification. Counsel to the complainant, Amegwa Lezina, opposed a request for more time by the counsel to the accused, Iltin Uba, but the court granted it to the defense to respond to affidavits. Now, the same group is also challenging the National Assembly's oversight of the emergency rule and the 2025 budget. Justice Muhammad Turaki directed the hearing notice to be served on the National Assembly, which was absent in court. Both suits will be heard on October the 13th. Now, I do understand why they had to postpone seating, because in one of the suits, one of the defendants did not know about the suit or was not present in court, so they had to follow the right procedures to ensure that they bring the notice to that defendant. On the other case, I understand also, if you've followed legal cases or legal arguments, you would also know that the time is given for the defense to respond to the allegations depending on the process with which it if it's filed the way it has been filed, then they have to respond to affidavits, right? I understand, do a proper defense and all. But what I do not understand is why it was postponed to October the 13th. Because if our calculations are right, and, Friday last week made it 4 months, and September the 18th will make it the 6th month, that would mean that the 13th of October would be about 20-something days past 20-something days past the expiration of the state of emergency. Lawyers would call that an academic exercise if a judgment were to be done by that time or even after that time. So that means, as it stands, we may not get a court pronouncement. Maybe for futuristic purposes, So maybe for another president who comes into office and is faced with such a situation where the political turbulence in certain states and is trying to navigate or maneuver, the Federal High Court judgment may become a guiding principle for him, a map to help him chart a decision. But as it stands right now in Rivers State, the court may not be the solution. Now, a few weeks ago, I think on the Morning Cross Fire, I was on that show, we talked, for those of you who listened, about, why the governor and the legislators at the state level were yet to return to their positions, one the brick house, the other the legislative chamber. And we argued on the show that if they have made peace, remember, the reason in the first place for the state of emergency was the breakdown of government, because the legislative arm was not functioning as it should. The executive was not functioning as it should because the legislative was not allowing it to pass the budget. That were, causing political tensions that, according to reports, resulted in pipeline vandalization and other economic disruptions, which brought about the state of emergency. Now, these political actors, these people in these positions have come out and have said, oh, we no do again. We no tear shirt again. We have agreed that we will love one another. We would work with one another. We were all in the same political family. As a matter of fact, the governor even had to go the extra length to kick his supporter boss aside. The boss that supports him, he kicked it aside and said, what, get to the Cubs. I don't need it. I don't need you right now. Nobody should be my, you remember the story, right? I don't have to rehash all of that again, right? So, and he did all of that, in my opinion, so that it can be evident enough that there is no prize too big for peace. Now, a lot of people may not have understood why they came together in that manner to embrace peace, because a lot of people were criticizing people criticize basically. But looking at it now, looking at the fact that the courts may not be an option, given the fact that anybody who is going to court now would not get a judgment before the expiration of the state of emergency in September. So the courts are not an option. But it's also looking like a political solution is dragging. We may just have to wait till September to see a return of democratic norms. That is, in quotes, if there is no extension. But what is more interesting is the relative quiet in the state. And this is not in any way to say, let's start making. I'm just, it's an observation. It's something I've noticed. I remember, in the thick of the whole back and the forth, the whole political brouhaha, everybody had something to say. But it looks like everybody is just passively waiting for whatever outcome that will be. So I couldn't help but have a conversation around it. I couldn't help but wonder. And I couldn't help but ask the question, have we all accepted the current situation, and that is that the situation is for the best? Or is it the usual Nigerian pattern where, after a while, we just blend in, we just get accepted? Or have we seen the good in what the president did by declaring a state of emergency? I know sometimes it's difficult for us to accept when our opinions change, but could that be the case? Could it be that our opinions have changed and, we embracing relative peace politically, physically, spiritually in Rivers State? Observations that I think should be conversations. So what are your thoughts on this very one? I'd like to know. I've got a commercial in a bit. I do have a commercial in a bit. But when I do come back, I'll get your thoughts and we will talk for development, right? Remember, the numbers are the same, but first we're live in Facebook, live in YouTube, active and interactive on X, Nigeria Info PH. That's the handle for all three social media platforms I just mentioned. You could, start sending your messages via WhatsApp 0809 0306416. You could also, take the numbers down. So when I come back from the break in about 4 minutes time, you call in 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. So which way do you think, what options do you think we have? Which way should we travel? Should we sojourn in this predicament we find ourselves, as a state? All right. I'd like to hear from you. Do stay tuned. It's my job, to probe some of these observations. What say you? I'll be right back. And I'm back. Kaladakuru Batabo here on Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info. It's the bottom of the hour. We're looking at, the situation in various states, democratic norms versus, state of emergency. 4 months gone already. September the 18th is expected to be the expiry date of the state of emergency. Some people went to court and the court adjourned to 13th of October. And then I'm asking my question, if the courts are not an option, to resolving this problem, is it okay? Is it okay for us to wait till September the 18th to know the fate of the state? And then, based off my observation, I can't help but ask this question. All of the people who were clamoring for and against, all of a sudden, quiet. Quiet. Could it be they were fighting for personal profits and not necessarily for the common good? Not necessarily because they wanted righteousness to be the guiding principle. But no, maybe just, I'm supporting this person because he's my person and you know what you will gain. Because if it was for the sake of law, I don't know. I'm one person who would have thought that, let the law interpret itself, through the channels it would usually interpret itself. And we get to know so that in the future we don't have these arguments. We would learn from whatever mistakes or errors or whatever actions that we've taken. Because usually they say experience is the best teacher. But I wonder what we have learned from all of this. But let's go to the phone lines now. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-0306416. The courts seemingly not an option. Peaceful resolution hasn't worked yet. Then what could? Is it waiting till the end of the state of emergency with the possibility of an extension? Anyways, let's listen to Lawson, who is calling in from Yenegua. Lawson, greetings to you. Welcome.
You just like trouble. What is the problem? Don't like the peace.
I like peace, but I also like to.
That you are experiencing in this passage. You don't like it.
So Lawson, I'm not calling for war. I'm not calling for a fight. I'm just sharing my observation.
Okay. The truth of the matter is that they have agreed now. You saw they settled.
But we have not returned government.
So they must have agreed on when to call off the state of emergency between the FCT minister, the State House of Assembly, and the governor. They know when it will be called off.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
But
they have agreed on a number of things.
But Lawson,
not to make it public.
Lawson.
So that the media people and Nigerians don't pick holes in all of those things, and then they instigate them again, and before you know, they start fighting. Besides the court, if you look at the court is trying to avoid the one that is even in the Supreme Court. That one was there a long time.
Lawson, is this not dangerous? What you've just said may just be the truth. That the parties involved know when it will expire or not. But is it not dangerous? Because we, the Rivers people, who they are representing, who they are governing, we don't know. Is that not a dangerous thing to start, a trend to start?
Yes, in developed countries, let's say if it were in Europe and maybe America and other places where things are done properly. But here it's not about the people. It has never been about the people. Even this fight was never about the people.
Interesting.
It was about interest.
Interesting.
Personal interest.
Interesting.
So now that their interests have been settled, they won't bother about the people. Because anytime they are ready, people will come and they will use the people.
Interesting.
That's how the Nigerian society is. So it's never about the people. Make no mistake about all of this.
All right.
For the court, don't forget, even when the judge declared this in his time, people ran to court. The court did not give any judgment that anybody can quote till it ended. So the court is also carefully avoiding the whole of this, not wanting to get...
But I thought the Supreme Court talked about not being able to... Anyways, that's a conversation for the legal practitioners. I'm going to move on now to Dr. Chris calling from Port Harcourt. Dr. Chris, it's good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah, greetings.
Well, it's not as if you're calling for war or you're...
No, I'm not. I'm a man of peace.
But I think, yeah, indeed you're a man of peace. But then it calls to this question. When will the Supreme Court deliver this judgment? Ireland, they have shifted it to October. You have shifted it to October so that in case the president chooses to suspend the state of emergency at the end of 6 weeks, at the end of 6 months, then the court will come out to tell fools, Nigerians who are fools, that it is academic exercise.
So sorry, I don't know what date the Supreme Court fixed, but the court I'm referring to is the court of the Federal High Court that shifted its date to October the 13th for hearing, by the way, not for judgment, for hearing. So I just thought I made that correction there.
Okay, very good, very well. Well, that's the Federal High Court. A matter of this importance that is expected that the issue will end up after 6 months, and the Federal High Court is shifting it to October, so that at the end, peradventure the president in his wisdom decides to call back the duly elected democratic government back to office, the Federal High Court will tell us is an academic exercise, as if we did not cross the 4 walls of education to be literate enough and responsible and reasonable enough to know that this issue should have been resolved before the expiration of 6 months, so that it will stand as a guiding principle or as a rule of law to avoid it repeating itself, because almost all of us in Nigeria, apart from the very politically minded ones, we all condemn this. I tell you one thing, Kalada, I am beginning to think that the federal government, the National Assembly, the courts are taking Nigerians for granted.
But what other options? I mean, I've listened to you extensively talk about what the court has not done, but what other options do you think Rivers people have? Peaceful solution between the political actors seemingly not producing results, at least not yet. The court extends sitting till October the 13th. So what other options, legal options now I should add, are there for Rivers people?
Well, there is no other legal option.
Interesting.
This matter has been before the court, and the court has decided to deliberate or give judgment after the supposedly expiration of the state of emergency. We are not left than to take it to God. I keep telling people, different people are conquered people, in as much as Nigerian people are conquered people. The political actors, the between FCT minister, even the governor, it does not even count so much. Everything is in the hand of FCT minister. He has the yam, he has the knife. Whatever he gives river people, they will shut up their mouth and eat it and swallow it and drink water. It has come to be in that light, and there's nothing anybody can do.
All right.
It is we resort to God's help, God's assistance. We're not violent people. We're peace-loving people, and there's nothing else we can do.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Chris. Resort to God, it says. But let's listen to Daniel calling from Omuma. Daniel, greetings to you. Welcome.
Good evening.
Greetings.
I think Canada or Samuel.
Canada it is, Daniel.
Canada, this is the only double-header development, double-header Dan.
Okay.
That question you brought, I have been discussing it with people in my environment every moment. Asking where are those press fingers of my excellency, whom we campaign for under rain and sun, and they decided to deceive themselves, said that it's even our governor. Our humble governor, a loyal servant, they decided to send him out of office. as God may touch well-meaning Rivers people, we decided to call him back. Before, from now to 1st October, let's tell you, no person, they have not disclosed to anyone. But it's today that I want to say it. From now to 1st October, our governor will come back.
Of course. I mean, like I just told you, state of emergency will end September the 18th.
Are you hearing what I'm saying?
I can hear you, Daniel. I can hear you.
I said from now to 1st October. You are asking why. You see that he has not come back.
Okay, so from now to 1st of October. All right.
Excuse me, those pressing fingers, where are they?
All right. I'm not asking. I'm not asking for praise singers. I'm asking something more interesting. Why don't we have a solution here? But let's listen to Chima from Rumukuta. Chima, welcome.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Canada.
Yeah, Chima, greetings to you.
Mr. Canada, it disgusts me when people begin to say what happened in River State was not for River State people.
So Chima, they are entitled to their opinion. If you think, listen. I don't like it when people attack other people's opinions. I've said it on the show before. If you have a contrary opinion, go straight to the point and say, I think it was for Rivers people. It's as simple as that.
Right.
So let's hear you.
I think, or I know that it was for Rivers people.
Okay.
Because even if I have to accept without conceding that the EM wicked are talking about, is it not also the people of River State? When his own interest is protected, it doesn't have a constituent inside the River State. They did not have a representative. So, Mr. Canada, now let us go into the issue at hand. Why is River State so quiet? It is because of what the other person said. We are peaceful people, and we have been crying all along when the governor came with all those kind of problems that he came with. And although, even if the problem has been partially solved or happily solved, it has not been fully solved because the local government election has not come. That is why me, Chimadike, I am calling for an extension of the suspension of the suspended governor. Because you know why?
Tell me.
I do not still believe his repentance because he has shown remorse like more than 2 or 3 times and he still came back to change because he was still having power. So even if he repents now totally when the power is being given to him, I'll be surprised at him because I know whom I know him for. We have gone to Abuja, signed an 8-point agenda, he repented, he came back, he turned, and some other things has happened. So to me, for proper tranquility in River State and what you see that we are enjoying now, that they should allow this administrator to conduct the local government election, even if it takes extending this suspension. Because if you do not know the value of what you are holding, you're going to abuse it. Remember that democracy was given to us. As a stranger, we are still studying it. And if the man who has brought Nai Kubara has taken us backwards, let us be backwards very well. So we are going to learn it very well. Or also be hurrying and still make another mistake.
All right.
So Nai Kubara should actually relax.
All right.
Even if they were sending it next year, to local government elections successfully and very calm.
All right.
And there will be peace.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. So it's calling for extension. Do you agree? Eric from Port Harcourt, welcome. Yeah, Eric, let's get your thoughts.
Okay, Eric, okay. I'm the discussion at hand. For me, the courts are on vacation. So for those of us that are thinking that the court maybe made that adjournment to October for political reasons, I don't think so. The courts in the country at this time are on vacation. I think the matters they may be treating now.
But they have vacation courts. Correct me if I'm wrong, Eric.
No, but the matter is already before a court, before the vacation started.
But you know, see so the argument is, given the what's it called now? Given the weight of the matter, you know, some would say it needs acceleration. We've seen situations where matters were before other courts and were changed to vacation courts because of the weight,
But the council, whoever brought the action, has the right to, tell the court to do such.
All right.
You have to prove urgency.
All right.
True. But and again, my major reason for calling is this issue of the FCT minister and his godson, the suspended governor. I think people should allow these people to rest. These people are father and son. Before now, most of these people talking, check the record, they didn't support the suspended
Eric, are you from River State? Are you in River State?
Yes, I'm from River State.
And you're in River State. You ply your trade in River State. Do you think this is only about father and son?
No, it's not.
Okay, so do you think they have a right to go about their opinions then?
See, let's look at it this way.
Okay.
With due respect to the parties concerned and the FCT minister and the suspended governor, for some of us, we knew that these are the things that we'll be going through for the next 4 years.
Okay.
The fight of taking back the soul of River State from purportedly one man was not fought well. The man you are trying to take over something from has brothers and sisters, friends in everywhere. So you could not have taken that thing from him. When you try to go this way, you carry somebody into his side and say, no, don't worry. Look at people like Magnus and they are with him. Just go around. The only person that's not with the FCT minister is Amici. Tony Okocha, that is now the chairman of APC, was with Amici. You remember, it was Amici's chief of staff.
So what's your point? What's your point?
Closer to the FCT minister. So it's not about, we are not happy what is happening in the state. If you drive around the state, it's as if to say we are no more a state. We are not happy about it. But what we can do now is let the president call back the suspended governor. Let us shield our sword.
But why? See, so Eric, now see, this is the question. This is the question, Eric, because I've got to go. Listen, this is the question. Why has he not called back the governor and the lawmakers? That's the question on the show. Because you're saying the governor, the president should, but my question is, why has he not called, given that there has been the shaking of hands, and right now the court is not an option?
Okay. Now let me say what I feel.
Okay.
You know, there's an election, that's the local government election. You know, the local government structure is the structure of every government.
Okay.
So the structure is very important. This is political.
Okay.
So the administrator, the SOLAC, I think will conduct the local government elections.
Okay.
And the suspended governor has maybe agreed to those facts. That's why you see nobody is pushing much on that aspect. And if you remember very well, the president did not have a Democracy Day talk.
Yeah.
He rather went to the National Assembly.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah.
You know, that was televised live. Now, the 1st of October is also our independence. It is a natural tradition that the president would address Nigeria. And we want to believe that if these elections are conducted between now and that time, the 6 months will expire in September, sometime in September. And the president said for the first instance, but we know pressure, my own teams will not allow him to go further than the first instance.
All right.
So for me, I want to suspect that on the 1st of October, that October period, the president may call him back.
But that would also be way past the
scene was suspended in March 18th.
Okay.
It was in the evening, about 7 p.m.
Okay.
The president said the governor be suspended and made all his speech.
Okay.
So you can just wake up this evening and say the governor has a record with the assembly members.
All right.
And
All right.
the put to rest.
All right.
But the question still remains: would the man have the strong spirit to rule the state as he once intended?
Eric, when it comes back to office, we would ask him that question. But for now, I've got to go to MOI where there is Prince calling from. Prince, let's get your thoughts.
Yes, Prince, I move on the line.
All right, quickly, please.
Yes, I think the suspension of the governor, there is no reason to continue the suspension.
Okay.
Because the only reason for suspending the governor is the alleged crisis, according to Mr. President. And the time frame, the condition was until they make peace. And I'm sure they have gone to make that peace. Both the House of Assembly members, the Minister of FCT, and the governor, they have met, they have equally attended functions. So what is the essence of keeping the governor? And our people talked about it is a thing of father and son. Rivers State is not just about Governor Tim Fubara and Wike. It is not their personal property. We have more than how many millions of persons in Rivers State here, including those who are doing business here. So Rivers State is not just about Wike and Tim. It's about Rivers people. It's about those doing business here. It's our state. And you can imagine since they suspended the governor, there are a lot of projects that we are going on that have been put on hold, especially my place, that of Rundele community. Go and see what our people are suffering. We cried for over 8 years before to then Governor Wike. That project, that road construction was not awarded. But Governor C came in, awarded that project. It was moving before they suspended the governor. And since they suspended the governor, they have equally indirectly suspended the project.
All right, Prince.
Go and see for yourself. If it rains, even if it's a drop of water, you will see how our old women and men struggling to navigate their way to their farmland or back to their houses. You can see the water up to their neck.
All right, Prince, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
These are the consequences of suspending the governor.
All right, consequences.
They should uplift the suspension for the sake of Rivers people, not for the sake of Wike or the governor. Tinubu should understand that what he is doing is intimidating us.
All right, Prince, thank you. Noted. Obed from Port Harcourt, welcome. Let's get your thoughts.
Kalada, good afternoon once again.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Kalada, we have seen the resolution according to the speculation because nobody explained to us what the resolution was all about. The resolution remains the fact that the FCC minister cannot do without politics. You understand? We have seen it. Rivers State has indeed given him much more opportunity. So he still wants to hold sway because without outside politics, he's nobody. That's what we have seen so far. And if anybody thinks that some of us supported the governor, that we are not right, then the person should have a rethink. Because we wanted government, you understand, independent of anybody, that will do his job for betterment of all. That is what we believe. And that's what I believe in Rivers State today. That Rivers State is better for all of us. Not a certain sort of individuals that will be collecting stipends, government paying them, giving them something behind. But we wanted a state where the governor will do his job very, very well so that everybody will benefit. You understand? So it's not, Rivers State is not one-man business. It's all of us.
All right.
The state that is made up of over 5 million persons cannot be in control of one man. That is why we are saying even the so-called resolution will not stand because it doesn't go in line.
Maybe people like you, Obed, are the reason why they have not called back democratic norms in the state. People like you who say the agreement will not stand.
Excuse me, Kalada.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I wanted the governor to fight. You understand? Go to court because we are even see what is playing now in court. Because that matter, they have to give it. They also have given it expedient hearing, considering how important that matter is. But the Supreme Court judges have decided to throw away what they labor to aim over the years to be able to sacrifice into loyalty to the president. That's what we are seeing right now. Because I don't see the reason why that matter have not been given anything they have to with that related hearing till today.
Okay. Obed, I've got a commercial. Canada, anybody going to court in this nation is just wasting his or her resources. That's why politicians will boldly tell you to go to court because they know you won't have justice. Do you know there was a time people were afraid when you mentioned the name court, but today they will tell you go to court. Sorry for this nation. If I Chukwuwodo. This one says, KDB, greetings. Handsome from our back. Can you tell us exactly when this court process began? Because I assume it was initiated as soon as the emergency was imposed. For me, court processes should or could be frustrating sometimes. The relative quietness you talked about among the warring factions is not a surprise. Wike and his faction have gotten what they wanted, reverse a political structure. The governor went for the peace agreement without any of his supporters and agreed on all Wike's demands. His supporters felt sabotaged and have lost the battle. So what are they supposed to be fighting for? There is nothing to fight for anymore. So everyone has retired to their homes. Wike and Tinubu have won. Rivers people have accepted their fate. John from Port Harcourt. But then the question is, was the fight about these individuals or for Rivers State once again? Boy, Palibor Telari says, good afternoon to you, Canada. For what you are analyzing about the political imbroglio, for me, I'll tell you that as things are the way or manner, it is not natural, a phenomenon that whatever goes up must. You said it is. I don't get that message. I'm going to skip now. But this one says, shame on the judiciary. Tinubu tells the court, okay, that's an allegation, so I'm going to skip as well. This one says the governor disappointed his supporters by denying them in church. The governor is on his own because the peace settlement was not for the interest of Rivers people. God they teme with that one. And let's see. And this one says, Rivers people have sold their estates out very cheap, and now they have to sit back and learn how leadership is done. At this point, they have no choice, so their hands are tied behind their back. They must wait till their teacher is done with the lesson of the day, exiting the class. Okay, I've got to go.
I don't know, man. These days, all you hear is save, invest, save, Wait, how do you guys find this money? Is it not someone that is settled that will have money to save and invest? And even if I manage to invest or save, the interest rate